Hello, hello. I didn't realize my mic was muted right away. Welcome, welcome all. I'll ping the Discord just so people are aware. You're good. Hope you're doing well. It did go pretty well, Danny Phantom. Enjoying the night, enjoying the night. Iben Canyon. Oh man, nice to have you in chat, Iben Brown. I'm just looking to do some Halloween prep. I didn't really do it much last night because I got sucked into ZA. I've been really addicted to that game, gonna be completely honest. It's a fun game. But yeah. Having a good time. I just realized, wait, is chat not showing up here? Huh, that's weird. Or is it just, huh. Interesting. I realize chat's not appearing on the stream, but that's alright. That's alright. We don't necessarily need that. I'm following along with chat. I'm reading your guys' posts, what you're saying. I'm not streaming ZA for the rest of the night. I was earlier today, but I wanted to get a little bit of Halloween prep in, because I didn't really do much Halloween prep. I already kind of know some ideas for like stuff for Amber Canyon, potential teams that I have, but I got to think about it, and like, I really don't have anything prepped for Amber Canyon. Now, I really do wonder, did they fix the override? Otherwise, this is going to be frustrating. This was busted. They did not fix it. Found that shiny charm grind. Well, no, I'm not really... not really, doing too much with ZA tonight. I was earlier, but I wasn't really grinding. I was more just trying to do the main storyline. But as of right now, I'm prepping for Pokemon Sleep. I want to try and prep for the Halloween event that's coming up, so I want to see what sort of things I should prep, because I really didn't prep it beforehand. And I really probably should have, so let's just take a look. I want to check the news. We already know about that. What's all this, the boosts? Okay, boosted by 3 levels, 1.25 times trigger rate, 1 extra ingredient. You know, something that I was going to mention in my news video that I didn't, that I'm pretty ashamed that I didn't mention, because it was on my mind and I was going to mention it. But when it comes to the news, or when it comes to boosts, we already have it confirmed that with expert mode in the past, there was a thing in expert mode that said something along the lines of, the boosts in expert mode are usually not going to be that of other events that are currently running. So it's like not going to be the same typically. And so far, I don't think we had anything where like during Super Skills Week, yeah, they will normally not be the same as those from ongoing events at the same time. We didn't have that with Super Skills Week. I don't think there was ever any overlap between, like, I don't think anyone reported official overlap before. So, oh, I put a hold on Legends Arceus in my local library. Nice, nice. I just realized that I missed your chat there, Ivan Run. And also, it looks like they are coming up on the stream now, so people can see that. I switched platforms of what I'm using for streaming from OBS to Streamlabs. So I'm able to do things like this now, because it's synced to my YouTube account. Anyway, that being aside, yeah, it typically doesn't overlap. Well, with this event, with Halloween, we are getting a skill trigger rate boost, and we're getting an ingredient productivity produced. Does that mean that if you go Greengrass Expert during Halloween, it's guaranteed you're going to get the berry boost? That's how I interpret this, because I can't interpret it any other way, because it says here that it's typically not going to be the same, and we haven't seen it be the same. So I think that it's guaranteed the berry boost for this particular event. Only time will tell on that, but I'd be surprised if they gave like an extra ingredient, so that it's 2 extra ingredients, or there had a chance of that, or like if there was a skill trigger rate, like if they did that twice, then would it be multiplicative with each other, or would they stack like to be 50% more, or would it be 1.25 times 1.25, which that turns out to actually be more than just 50%? Like, what would it be? Only time will tell. Only time will tell on that, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, ghost types have that going for them. And then, instead of custom +5, it'll be custom +3. And ghost types. So, I need to start from base. What meal do I want to target? I don't... Are we still able to catch Pumpkaboos right now? I don't... That might have just been a one-off sort of thing. So I don't know exactly. I intend to go Greengrass Expert mode because I have no reason to go anywhere else, which means we can't really prep too much around it, other than we know the primary berry is going to be Ghost. And we know it's probably going to be this if we go Expert mode, which does give us a decent backing, so I guess I can prep for the worst possible case scenario if I have nothing else that lines up, and then last minute just scramble to change things if I need to. But I don't have a great array of ghost type Pokemon, honestly. Like I've got my Gengar, and that's about it. I guess he leads the team. But then I guess the place to go from there is, well, my Gengar is making mushrooms and a little bit of herbs. So what can I make with that? What can I make with that? Okay, let's pull up infographics here. And I have very limited time for prep because I put this off till last minute because I've been kind of not thinking too much about the game. But I also don't want to reroll meal. That's also the concern. Because I'm going extra mode, I don't want to reroll the meal. That makes things extra difficult. It makes things very difficult. Expert mode makes things difficult, and that's probably the biggest reason why. Because you don't want to reroll meal. Because of the limitation of expert tickets. Well, I know I'm going to have mushrooms, and if I have mushrooms, then my best meal options are Ninja Salad here, Hidden Power Perk Up Stew here, or down here, Neroli's Tea is the best meal that takes mushrooms under desserts, so be kind of like, I don't really want desserts. But it looks like soybeans and mushrooms go hand in hand, so I'll probably be prepping soybeans the rest of the week. Maybe some leeks. Maybe some ginger, some coffee. Or I can just rely on Gengar to... Yeah, so we'll be making mushrooms, but... Can I get something else out of that? I could make apples. I could make a lot of apples with Skeledirge, but that'd be... honestly, a bit excessive. My Skeledirge would just produce way more... I was expecting excessive. I wasn't expecting that excessive. My gosh, Skeledirge. You the man there. My goodness. You know, just for grins and giggles, what would it be if it was 60? It's not level 60. 200 apples a day. That's a lot of apples. That is so many apples. My goodness. And he keeps himself energized because, yeah. Well, we know we want a healer. It'll probably be Pawmot. My best generalized healer. If I get Psychic Berry, then Cresselia is the better play. But Pawmot can be the expectation, I guess. Man. So I guess we'll... Yeah, I guess I'm just going to use Gengar like a berry specialist, really, because that's what it's going to do primarily. And for ingredients, I think I just have to rely on other stuff entirely. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to make good use out of the mushrooms, because they're just... Mushrooms kind of suck right now. Hidden Power perk up is, like, the only thing. But even that, like... Well, okay, if I'm prepping for that, I'll be prepping soybeans, tomatoes, and coffee to synergize with that. If I get apple acid, I could use Skeledirge, and I'll be prepping tomatoes because of this. So, I guess I could just prep enough for 25 tomatoes each day. Or 75. Venusaur at 60 brings in 173 honey. Whew, that's insane. That doesn't surprise me, though. Venusaur is really good for honey. Like, my level 30 produces Metacall amounts for, like, these larger doses. And it doesn't even hit level 60 because my level 60, it's AA B. It's AAC. I kind of forgot about that the other day. It's AAC, and it produces Metacall amounts pre-level 60. So, that does not surprise me that Venusaur can produce that much. But that's a lot. That's still got to be a good one. That's got to be really, really good. But either way, like I said, if we're prepping for this, I can kind of cascade down here, but it's more likely to cascade into Ninja Salad. Which means we kind of be prepping soybeans, leeks, tomatoes, ginger. Which if we're prepping leeks and ginger, then here we got this, and apples can be covered by Skeledirge, coffee. I think the best way to go about this is to prep for Zing Zap, Ninja Salad, Hidden Power Perk Up Stew. With primary focus up here, because it's going to be the one that can take most advantage of it. Ninja Salad next, Zing Zap as the third that we would have to run Skeledirge. I really don't want to have to run Skeledirge because I know it's going to be a lot of rotation, but... Speaking of skill trigger rate, Randonex is currently saying that Vulpix's Energizing Cheer skill trigger rate has been increased to 16.6%. What? Well, that might not actually be wrong. For a base evolution that has a really slow speed, I could see it being very, very high. It is unsettled, though. That does make it ridiculously high likelihood for trigger, if that is the case. But remember, there's more to procs per day than just the 16.6%. It's this combined with frequency, which the better comparison would be to see, like, to figure out if that is a reasonable amount, would be to actually... I forgot that I did this. Anyway, that aside, we're just gonna ignore that. Let's compare the Vulpix to a Ninetales. Because I'm assuming they probably have the rates for Ninetales and settled. Yeah, it's settled down here. Okay, it's predicting to proc way more often than a Ninetales. Yeah, that's gotta be wrong. That's gotta be wrong. I don't know what it actually is, but... the way that they figure these things out is through the RP formula, kind of backwards calculating it. If that's correct, then I'd be shocked. Because if that's the case, then, you know, it might be... it might, at that point, honestly be a more meta-relevant Pokemon than even Slowking. Because that'd be funny, that a Vulpix would proc more than a Slowking. Yeah, that's a really high proc rate. I would not expect that. That's funny, though. Thanks for pointing it out there, Jack Trillor. That's something that I feel like I would have noticed if I was doing more stuff with Rainon more recently. But either way, we're going to try to prep 3 teams. First one we're going to prep is for making Perk Up. Hidden Power Perk Up. If it's correct, then Vulpix with a ribbon is the new best Energizing Cheer Esmon. Yeah. Yeah, that would be the case, which that feels very wrong. It's not even a skills specialist. How are your Dream Shards looking for the upcoming pod expansions? Fully free to play and sitting on 3.2 mil. Haven't spent shards in 9 months in prep of the new expansion. Not good right now. I'm very liberal with my Dream Shards. Also, man, with this background, you really can't see what chat is saying. I should try. Oh, whoops. I can't actually show you guys my phone, but because I haven't set that up in Streamlabs yet. But as of right now, I can tell you my Dream Shard amounts. They've been going up this week because I've been running Swallots, both plural, 2 of them. Although one of them is not at max main skill level. One of them's only main skill level 7 because it does go up to 8. I did just get a double proc on one of them. I think that's the one with the lower amount. My prediction is Reddit is generally unaware of the magnitude of the cost of the Dream Shard Apocalypse is going to hit hard. Yeah, it's going to be very expensive. We already have predictions, and I think these are the settled numbers. We can actually kind of project out, or we have some data mined amounts for how much it's going to be. Now this previously was... Here it is, pot. Previously this was data mined, but they recently changed it with a more recent data mine, so given that they're a bit more dialed in at this point, I would assume that these are more the accurate amounts. At this point, 560k for the first one, 720k for the second one, 950k for the third one, and 1.2 million for the fourth pot expansion. Which is just a lot. I mean, that's pretty expensive, not gonna lie. A lot of people are like, oh, why does anyone need a Dream Shard Magnet Pokemon when I don't need that many Dream Shards? I'm doing fine for Dream Shards. Yeah, late game expenses are, what I would call expensive. Very expensive. So, all in all, 3.4 million, roughly. 3.4 million Dream Shards is what it will take. I'll check here in a minute. I'm currently making dinner, actually. Because I realized I hadn't done that yet, and my ingredient bag is full right now. Although I guess I should have done the calculations here to figure out what I need next week before dropping a bunch of ingredients, but oh well. Did you ever manage to get the 3-star Tyranitar Sleep Style? I did. It happened on a time when I wasn't even prepping for it. It was during some event where I was pushing for strength. I forgot what event it was, but I remember waking up to him being like, oh, I was trying so hard for this because I wanted it and was just going to work for it and try to min-max the full moon to get it. And then it just happened on a completely random night, where it wasn't even on my mind. It was during an event, though, and I was pushing for strength, though, so, like, I can't be like, oh, this was completely out of pocket, but... Okay, as of right now, my Dream Shard reserve is sitting at 414k. I just finally saw it. 414,000 Dream Shards is where I'm currently sitting. So, I've got not even enough for the first one. However, I do have in my bag a healthy reserve of... Okay, that's not really healthy. I've got a reserve of 17 Dream Cluster S and 2 Dream Cluster M, which... about 3,000 per Dream Cluster. Here, I can do the actual math for that. 2962 is what each one is worth. Times 17... is roughly 50k. 17,772 times 2, 35k. So plus like 85,000 additional. So 85,000 plus 415,000 basically. I'm at about $500,000 in reserves, which means I can almost afford the first one. I'm pretty spendy with my Dream Shards though. I level a lot of Pokemon. I level a lot of them. I use Candy Boost all the time, but I'm always struggling for Dream Shards. Despite running Swalot a lot. So, Only time will tell how that plays out for me, but it's going to be a while before I get that pot maxed. At one point I had like 1 million, and then it just vanished. I don't know where it went. A lot of it went into Cresselia, I will say that. But Cresselia's been level 65 for a while, so that's not where it's going anymore. Anyway, so I'm definitely thinking I want soybeans for these 2 meals. I probably want a soybean producer of some sort. Okay, if I try to cover the ingredients that are covered across all 3, definitely thinking stockpile leeks and ginger, because that's in 2 of the meals we're targeting, and coffee, because that's also in 2 of the meals. Those are probably going to be the 3 best, and soybeans as well. Soybeans, coffee, leeks, ginger. If I could cover just the soybean requirement here, and the... If I can cover this meal, then I think I'll be set. And then the coffee requirements for this one. So, let me just think about this. 19 plus 15 plus 11 plus 12. That's only 57. Usually we want to keep that adder below 100. So, oh, but that's not per day, that's per meal. Oof. Never mind, that changes things, because that'd be times 3, that'd be 171. For those of you that don't understand the math that I'm doing here, is ingredients per day of prep, so we're not able to cover completely for all these things. Although this one, I guess, could be managed a little bit better, because if I'm running something to produce the leeks, oh, but I guess then I'll be producing a little bit of soybeans as well. So I guess that's where that all comes in. If the new salad uses oil, my AAA BFS Toxicroak is going to be so happy. That would be nice for the last, the next island, Amber Canyon. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see what these new meals bring about. I'm pretty excited to see what they are. I'm always excited to see what they are. Every time it's always been like, what new Pokemon's gonna come back and resurge as on everybody's team. I feel like Dragonite hasn't been used too much by people, other than those that are still sticking with Inferno for the duo. The duo for Inferno, I think, is one combo that will stand the test of time despite being a weaker meal. Yeah, I was just talking about herbs. I think Dragonite might have a resurgence. Especially being a dragon type. Having favored berry there, and being very good with Berry Finding S. One of the best non-berry finders to have Berry Finding S, especially for ingredient specialists. Some skill specialists do better than it based off of my my chart, my index that I made. Okay, well, if I'm gonna cut an ingredient out of here, what if I increase this by 9? Then that would decrease it by 3 per meal. Okay. So 20 plus 15. Well, but we'd want to... Who was the resurgence Pokemon when OGPP came out, if there was one? Well, when OGPP came out, the meals that were released that took the new meta, that claimed the top, were Hidden Power Perk Up, Defiant Coffee Dress Salad, and Zingzaf Spice Cola. The previous top meals were Flower Gift Macarons, Ninja Salad, and Inferno Corn Keema Curry. So, I guess looking at the shift here we had soybeans come back on top, mushrooms came back on top here for a little bit, but Ninja Salad was already pretty relevant, which had soybeans and mushrooms already. So, like, those were already pretty relevant. Tomatoes, because we went from Ninja Salad to, oh, sorry about that. I guess tomatoes became relevant, for Hidden Power Perk Up for those that were more curry focused. So all the tomato farmers, I'd say, gained a spike in relevance. Because before, tomatoes were like, I guess there was green grass salad, Cross Chop actually came out later, because that came out, I want to say, that came out significantly later. But the, yeah, I guess the tomatoes were the biggest ingredient that saw a win with the release of Old Gold Power Plant. That weren't obviously the new ingredient in coffee. Honey and eggs, I guess, kind of, but there was always Fruity Flan, which wasn't... It was a little bit behind Tea-Corn Scones, but not terribly so. If we have something that brings herbs back, then it really is a huge jump, because herbs, like, right now have not much... Like, it's just corn keema curry. Do you think we ever get a new island after Amber Canyon, besides expert modes for remaining islands? I think only time will tell on that. I sure hope so. Because while I do think expert mode is cool, I think what's cooler is new islands, because if all they do is just start releasing expert modes for every island, then you start running into the problem of, as more Pokemon get released, you can't hunt anything, truly. Because the spawn pools are going to get so watered down if they just start adding more and more Pokemon to every island. Hunting things would become impossible. Just because the odds of you encountering the thing that you want to hunt is, like, going to be so slim. So I think the trend is going to be continuing on releasing more islands. Because if they were to stop releasing more islands, then the spawn pools everywhere is just going to get so diluted. So I hope they continue releasing more islands and not just more expert modes. But expert modes on top of that, I think, is a good way to challenge as well. For me, Baggin and the Hoenn starters are the most hype announcements we've ever got. I don't know, the first time they announced a new island, if you were around back then, that was pretty hype, because back then, there was no clue if we'd get more islands. It was kind of an assumption, but there was no confirmation. And then that got confirmed, and we were like, heck yeah. There were some data mines for Lapis Lakeside and Carmine Volcano. Rest in peace, Carmine Volcano. It will forever be in the hearts of Day 1 players. Because the data mines did bring Lapis Lakeside and present us with Lapis Lakeside. But they never did add Carmine Volcano to this day. Alright. I was around Newmon's wise. Yeah. I wonder if they'll ever add a 9th spawn to sleep sessions. I don't think they'll add more spawns. However, 5-star sleep styles, we still have no clue what they are. There's a spot for it. Every morning when you review a sleep style and get a new one, it shows a 5th star that nothing's ever been filled in. 10 spawns in 2028. It'd be kind of nice. I don't know if they'll ever mess with the number of spawns, though. That feels like it's messing with bounded accuracy, or bounded gains in the game. I need some Gen 4 love after all the Hoenn Mons. I would love to... Okay. Maybe this is, wrong of me to say, but... Or, not wrong, necessarily, but... While I'm very excited about Salamence, don't get me wrong, I love Salamence. I would not be honest in saying that when I saw this, I was immediately happy. Because when I saw Salamence announced, I was like, my heart just sank a little bit. Because, for those of you that don't know, I am a huge fan of Haxorus. It's probably my favorite Pokemon, if I'm 100% honest. And I was really hoping that they would add another Dragonmon, and that it'd be my little axe lizard guy. So, when I saw Salamence, I was like, I love Salamence, I think he's cool, but my heart was let down a little bit because I was hoping for Haxorus. There's a little piece of me that was holding on to it until I saw this, but oh well. That's not going to be the case, and we get Salamence instead, which is still cool. It's a pseudo, and I'm always in favor of more pseudos. I'm real intrigued to see what they do with the pseudos. I'm really interested to see if they follow the trend of it being really good ingredient specialist with energizing cheer. Yeah. Real ones have leaked tomato meganiums. Could Meganiums have tomato? I know that there was a bug that made it so that they had leeks as the bee ingredient for a little bit. But only time will tell. Baggin trying to fly and sleep would be such a cute sleep style, though. I mean, it's going to be released. We are getting Baggin. I don't know what the sleep styles are going to look like. Only time will tell on that. But it looks pretty cool. I mean, we see it atop belly here in this image. I would zoom in, but I can only zoom in so far. There you go. 100%. You do need 450 sleep styles. I wonder, do I have 450 sleep styles? I don't know. Do I have 450 sleep styles at least? I only have 230 more. Yeah, we did just get Honchkrow. Gonna be a spooky pumpkin holdout. The roleplay stew fits my box nicely. I could just use a stronger mushroom farmer. I'm not saying... I've never said that the pumpkins were bad. They're very powerful. I just think that their time in the meta is going to be short-lived because I think they're going to get power crept rather quickly. Is it going to be a bad thing to have a pumpkin farmer? No, not at all. Baggin trying... Oh, I've been pronouncing Baggin Bag on this. I mean, that may be right. I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. Let's see. I might be pronouncing... Wait.
Bagon.
Bagon is how they say it's pronounced, technically. I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Bagon.
According to Google. So, there you go. A lot of avocados are coming, worried with the pumpkins. Because that's how it's pronounced. Yeah. I just don't know how to pronounce certain Pokemon's names. The one that I always get flamed for is Dedenne. I always say Dedenne. It just comes off naturally to me. I know it's pronounced Dedenne, but I don't care. I started calling it Dedenne. Now it's kind of a meme on the channel that I call it Dedenne, so I'm just going to keep calling it Dedenne, even though it's technically wrong. It's a time to discuss top being pronounced taupe. I know that as well. I was told that like months after starting the channel, but I always called it top in every discussion that I had about it, and no one corrected me until I started a YouTube channel about it, so... What, it's not pronounced Bagon? No, it's technically Bagon. Technically. It's technically like Bay and then Gon. Like a polygon ending with Gon, but yeah. Oh well. It's coming here. It's coming to us with Salamence and Shelgon. Honestly, I'm interested to see what they do with the Shelgon sleep styles, because what can you really do with a sleeping shell? I mean, you'd have it sprawled up or kind of curled on. Or can you say Freesha Vakadu? Is that... I made a reference to that in the Discord earlier. I said somebody please make a meme. Make a meme with like whichever Pokemon is the avocado Pokemon. Please, please, please make a meme somehow where you incorporate that with the Freesha Vakadu thing. I don't know how it'll work out because it's just a Del Taco sign. But, you know, 9 years ago me would be laughing at that if he knew the context. 9 years ago, I'd have been 13. That's crazy. Turning 14. Hope we get Metagross sometime. Would fit well at OGPP since it doesn't have a pseudo. I would agree to that. Legend says if you say Dedenne 10 times while twirling in the mirror while you brush your teeth before bed, it shows up triple trigger. I don't know if that'll happen, to be completely honest. I don't think it will, especially considering it can only double trigger. But you can try it. It's not going to hurt you. You might just look a little stupid. Sheldon could sleep upside down. Potentially. I mean, here it's sprawled. This is I am going to guess now This sleep style specifically is called sprawled sleep. The reason why I'm guessing that is because that is like one of the most generic names that they give to every single like Pokemon in the game. And I'm gonna guess this one's called the top belly sleep, but I don't think that's really a prediction. I think that's more just like actually the case. I think Flygon will have avocado because it's the same color, which is not good logic, but it's what I wish. It would make sense, but if you watch my video, and I discussed this a little bit in my video, I don't think it's going to. Well, I think it will, just like maybe as the B or C ingredient. I think it'll either be a skills specialist with it as the B ingredient, or an ingredient specialist with it as the C ingredient. And just because it's available as early as Top Hollow, and I think that they wouldn't make a good avocado farmer accessible that early, since it is kind of the new ingredient for Amber Canyon. As of right now, we still don't have a great coffee solution prior to Old Gold Power Plant. We still don't have a great corn solution prior to Lapis. If you look at the pre-Lapis corn options, you have Comfey. That's pretty much it. And Comfey is a 16 pip option that sucks. I hate to say it, but Comfey is not a good ingredient farmer in this game. I've gotten tons of corn out of it on the Sleep Sleepers, but a part of that is because I found one with absolutely cracked out stats. If you look at pre-Old Gold Power Plant coffee options, we have Clodsire, who, while it's very good for cacao and comparative to other cacao options, it is terrible for coffee. If you make the comparisons. And it's ABB, which means you'd have to wait until it's level 60 anyway, which at that point, do you really not have Old Gold Power Plant unlocked yet? Maybe you do if you really rushed it, but I don't know. The pre-New Island farmers for that island's new ingredient seem to just be pretty terrible. And I'd expect that to be the same case. So if Flygon comes out, given that Flygon's available at top, I don't think it's going to be the avocado farmer. Anyway, I hear of this legend after I already brushed my teeth. Crazy. Skill trigger M, skill trigger S, main skill up, helping bonus. If you do it 100 times, unconfirmed. Oh, I see what you're saying with triple. I thought you were saying your Dedenne would have a triple proc, not a double proc. Triple trigger is possible. I said that wrong. Triple trigger does happen. Okay. You know what I just realized? Does Snorlax never need to, roll over in its sleep? I mean, Pokemon sleep atop its belly, and we never see its butt. So, Mawile can do corn too, kinda. Where does Mawile get the corn? But, once again, that's a 16 pip option. Can it do it? Yes, but it's got problems. It's got problems. The 5 pip options are the real farmers, and Mawile only has it as B ingredient. It's going to take a lot more seeds to actually fully work, but triple proc is 1,000 times. I thought you meant the build. Yeah, that's what they meant in chat. I misinterpreted. Having a triple proc would be impossible, but triple trigger is possible. So, yeah. The back pain Snorlax must have. I don't want to fathom. I don't want to fathom it. That'd be a lot of back pain, I imagine. Unless he's just always sleeping. If you never wake up, do you ever feel the back pain? That's the question. And Snorlax looks like he's always sleeping, I gotta say. That dude is zonked. Or is he just wide awake whenever we're not in the app? Yeah, Mawile can also kind of do corn, but once again, it's another ABB option, and it's 16 pip. Like I said, the pre-reaching that island options for that island's ingredient are usually pretty... They have innate flaws that it's usually just a better option to hold out for that ingredient until you get to that island. So I am going to hardcore guess that Flygon is not the avocado Pokemon. Might have avocados. Like I said, my guess is it's either going to be a skills specialist with B ingredient avocado or an ingredient specialist with C. Someone confirmed if Pumpkaboo is still appearing, or will we not see them again until Halloween? I have no clue. The news basically said that we were only going to get it during Halloween, releasing on, like, the 27th, but people did see it earlier. I know that there was, like, a thing with its, like, dex entry saying something about it being on the new moon, that if you hear its cry, then, like... I'd have to actually read the exact wording on it again. There was something about it with the new moon. I think that was an allusion to it. So I think last night's release of it was just like a teaser for the fun in reference to that thing. I think this is the official release date for it. But I haven't seen it confirmed otherwise. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know. Only time will tell. Well, maybe time's already told. I don't know. We'd have to ask our Australian friends. I could check with in the Discord, see if anyone in Australia has seen a Pumpkaboo since the... Anyone see Pumpkaboo 2 nights in a row? Or was it just the day of the new moon that it was possible to see? Something not talked about much, even if a niche mechanic, is how the devs have the ability to up the appearance rate of mons like crazy at will. Last night when everybody got a ton of Pumpkaboos. Remember Drifloon had happened too. Yeah, they do have the ability to, but I think they're only going to do it for special releases. Most notably Shadow releases, or Shadow Drop Pokemon. This is the second time they Shadow Dropped a Pokemon to us. And it seems like their Shadow Drops are specifically when it has to do with, the Dex. Or like some sort of allusion to past games. So, if we look at, Gourgeist. If we pull up its Dex entries, I remember I saw this in a Provini video. I'll give credit where credit is due. He pointed this out to me. Singing in eerie voices, they wander town streets on the night of the new moon. Anyone who hears their song is cursed. So it makes an allusion to New Moon, and that's why it was released. Drifloon was also a Shadow Drop that was released on a Friday. Which is notable because you can only encounter it on a Friday in the original game or something like that. I'm not sure all the information on that, but I was told later on that like there was something with you could only encounter it on a Friday, and that's why it was released. Shadow dropped on a Friday. So, yeah. They're both allusions to their either Pokedex entries or something like that. Which of the Amber Canyon Pokemon are you most excited for? What kind of specialist do you think it'll be? Salamence, if I'm completely honest. Once again, if you mention my, if you watch my video talking about it, my prediction is Crustle is going to be... I think this is going to be very similar to Lapis Lakeside's release. In that Crustle and Dwebble are going to be the mono option for Avocado. Flygon is going to be some sort of skills specialist, maybe an ingredient specialist, but for something else. I honestly don't know what direction they're going with Flygon. It's the one that I'm the least certain about. And then I'm predicting Salamence to be an ABB option for Avocados. And then be just absolutely insane for whatever ingredient they make its A ingredient. Just on the previous precedent set by the other pseudos. Yeah, it only spawned on Fridays in Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. There we go. Confirmation from someone who knows more than me about the base games. It's actually really cool how they reference the lore from the main games. I agree. They also gave us little hints, at least with, not with Goregeist, but if we go all the way back to the news drop for Old Gold Power Plant, there were balloons in the background of the image, and a lot of people joked, like, Drifblim confirmed, question mark? They were joking about it, but that ended up actually being what they were implying was Drifblim, and it was so subtle that people, like, actually joked about it. But it was legit. Is Drifblim as strong as Ampharos after the buff? I actually haven't run the numbers yet. I'd have to see. Let me run the numbers right here, right now. It's a pretty easy comparison. But even if it does turn out to be stronger, remember, this is conditional. This is very conditional. That you actually, like, let it run its course. And Drifblim has a lot more effort you have to put in. It also looks like the skill rate is still unsettled. But I can't imagine that would have changed because they didn't announce that they were changing its skill rate at all. So I'd assume it's probably the same as before. But if that's the case, it does look to be stronger now based off of this, but there's a lot of RNG that goes into it, and it's also got the commitment factor. Okay, yeah, so, and this is a pretty significant increase. Oh, I guess you guys can't really see it all that well because of chat. Let me move chat down a little bit. And I'll even shrink it a little bit. I need Salamis to be a mono mushroom farmer. Quagsire isn't cutting it for me. I'm hunting for an ABB Vigable right now. Actually, okay. Ingredients that could use a crazy introduction for, like, a potential new pseudo. I wonder what we could really be looking for with that. We could see, my guess, the one that we're lacking the most in for a really good farmer right now is definitely oil. For as far as meeting meta calls go, the best oil producers in the game can only barely meet the meta call if they're level 60 and have really good stats. So I guess that's my first and foremost prediction would be oil. Just because, or cacao. Oil and cacao, I think, are the two that are the most difficult ones to get a really good producer of. Leeks also are kind of that way, but that's more because the really good leek producer is 16 pip, not necessarily because the leek producers out there are all bad, like is the case for oil and cacao. Oil is also ridiculously hamstrung given its base power. Yeah, its base power really isn't that high. So the fact that it's lower than that of herbs and doesn't have a great producer. Jinx. Oh, wait. Oh, man, I'm just realizing people are saying, okay, triple leaks. Oh, gosh, I'm not expecting it to be leaks. AB Gigavolts. I'm guessing you got a Gengar. I'm just catching up on chat right now, sorry. Oil Solution is turning out to be a Mawile with insane stats, but I still need to seed it up. I mean, it could work if you have really, truly insane stats. Imagine it's triple tail. That I doubt. If they make a triple tail, well, make it triple tail and make its B ingredient be apples, and then catch an ABB one. If you thought Goregeist was insane, going from pumpkins to soybeans, if there was something that went from tails to apples, that would just be hilarious. I've always joked about this before. So, for those of you that don't know, 257 is the standard ingredient spread on Ingredient Specialists. I recently heard someone make a reference that's saying, like, that was a low amount. That's not low. That's literally the standard. Every Ingredient Specialist in the game for its AAA list is 257. That is fixed. standard across the board. The difference in the secondary ingredient proc sizes is based off of their base power. So what they always do is they'll take, like, let's say it has leeks at base, like Farfetch'd. They'll take 185, they make their second ingredient sausage. They multiply it by 5 for the B proc. So 185 times 5 is 925. Then they divide that by whatever the base power is for the other ingredient that they're looking to put there. In this case, sausage is 103. You do that, it comes to 8.98, which rounds to 9. So if I was to go check here, I don't have it memorized off the top of my head what Farfetch'd's B proc is, but if I'm right here and I did my math correct, it should be 9. I'll double check myself. But it's 8. Okay, apparently they just round down. 8.98 apparently rounds down to 8. So the B proc here is a little bit sad. But either way, because the math is done that way, and that's how they base it, I guess they round down. I didn't actually look into the specifics. I didn't know which way they round. If they round to the nearest or round it up, round down. That all said, maybe sometimes they round up, because I know that there are some other ones like not Farfetch'd, Quackable soybeans. I think that's round. Farfetch'd, okay, now I'm just wondering. Quackable soybeans was 500, because it's 5 divided by 185. That's 2.7. So yeah, the leek proc is lower value. I swear there are some though where it comes out higher value. I'm not sure how that all gets figured out, but either way, they round down. So 342. If you made the C proc 7 tails, that's a base value of 2,394. Apples have a base value of 90. You'd be looking at 26 apples per help. Okay. Hello, just wondering if you have an event calendar to the end of the year. I mean, I don't have an event calendar prepped. As far as what we know, next week we have Halloween. Then immediately after that is an off week, but they're releasing the Amber Canyon on that Thursday. So if you want to migrate to get early access to the Amber Canyon, it's possible. It's not an event week. There are advantages and disadvantages to doing that. I'll probably talk about that in a video that I plan on releasing probably next week, maybe short before that decision will become relevant. Then we have 2 weeks of Amber Canyon most likely, and then after that, I mean, Eevee Week is supposed to be in there, but like from past years. But I'm pretty certain Eevee Day is 121 or 11/21 or something like that. And I'm pretty certain that overlaps with the second week of Amber Canyon. So I don't know what they're doing with that. But then after that, we have a little bit of downtime between then in December, early December. I would expect maybe some sort of what I like to call off-week plus sort of things, like a Dream Shard week, or maybe like probably more like a growth week, because that feels like we will have been going hard with the events for a while. So I would expect something much more tame and mellow before Christmas, which would be a big thing, and New Year's. And New Year's after that. Yeah, yo, you were crazy right about pumpkin being a gimmick. Had us panicking for 24 hours before getting mogged by glossy avocado. Yeah, I totally was like, I was looking at it and like, I was like 250 base power. That is insane. I genuinely think they're only going to be in those 2 recipes, and those 2 recipes can be power crept really quickly. It feels very similar to me to Tails at launch. Because for those of you that don't know, and I had someone challenge me on this earlier, but I'm pretty confident at launch the 2 tail meals were the most powerful ones. Maybe Dream Eater Butter Curry. Come to think of it, I think Dream Eater Butter Curry was out. But I think Slowpoke Tail Pepper Salad was the strongest one. So... for salads at least, because Ninja Salad got buffed later on. These 2 weren't in the game because Corn wasn't around yet, and all these ones were way later. But Slowpoke Tail Pepper Salad, I believe, was the top, and Grilled Tail Curry was like the second highest. So, I mean, you can just see... Oh, Calm Mind Fruit Salad wasn't out yet either, but that's weaker, so it doesn't really matter. But, yeah. And these pumpkin recipes, yeah, they're very, very strong. But I was like, Amber Canyon's just around the corner. They're releasing this new ingredient on a single Pokemon, like super limited distribution. It's released for an event. They're really powerful. They have really dense, like they're really strength dense. I can't imagine the devs are going to put this in like big super meta relevant meals or meals that are going to remain meta relevant for a really long time, because that would just be overpowered. I could be wrong. Maybe some of the meals will include pumpkin and avocado. That feels like a weird mix though. Can you imagine a meal with pumpkin and avocado? I mean, I can say that though, but then we also have down here leeks and coffee. So, who knows? Only time will tell. But I'm still going to stick by my prediction and say that pumpkins are an event gimmick, and they're just the tales of tomorrow. I genuinely think that. Thank you. Yeah, the recipes and pumpkin in general feels so seasonal to be a mainstay meta recipe. I would agree. I don't think it's going to be a bad thing to have a Gourgeist, just similarly to how I think it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a tail farming, a good tail farmer. Tails are pretty powerful when used correctly, but they are a bit gimmicky. And generally speaking, I think that there are better things to put your investment and time into. And I think the same is true for pumpkins. But I could be wrong. I'm going to hunt Gourgeist right now because it's boosted. And when a Pokemon's boosted rates is the best time to hunt it. And I can see a very unique role that it fills. So I'm not going to say don't hunt it because it's a gimmick. Because I think that'd be bad advice, especially since I know that this is speculation. And I'm always an advocate for never make your decisions based off of speculation. You can kind of make your speculation can be the tiebreaker when making decisions on what to hunt for, but it should never be your reason for hunting something. I feel like recipes over 70 ingredients just aren't worth making, since you'll probably have to have 4 ingredient farmers on most of the time. That's why I'm seeing Roleplay Stew as a Goldilocks recipe. Not necessarily. And I've proven this time and time again with, specifically with, Zingzap Cola. If you're smart about it, and what I was trying to do here earlier in the day, earlier in this stream, if you're smart with it, you can prep your bag space and sacrifice some of an off week's strength to prepare in advance by prepping your bag space. The power of the bag, one of the most powerful concepts to learn in this game, to reliably cover what your team can't reliably produce. Now, it's very difficult with this one because, especially for me, for ghost types, my only real good option is my Gengar. I do have a Banette, but it's kind of meh. And genuinely, it's so underleveled right now that I think I'm better off just running something else without the boosts. But oh well. Years 2040, Snorlax has downed his 3rd Slowpoke tail pumpkin smoothie. Oh, that sounds disgusting. To hit M20 at top expert level cap announcement to 80, and they data mine new pod expansion to take 7 figures. I mean, I hate to say this, but have you seen what the pod expansion for 81's gonna take? It doesn't need to be 2040 for that. I think you're thinking more like maybe 9 figures at that point in the year 2040. I hate to say it, but we're already at the land of 7 figures. With leaks, imagine. Wonder if they will add a new recipe list other than the 3 we already have, like sandwiches or puffins. I don't think they will, just because doing so would be a nerf to bag prep, and it would also be a nerf to easy travel tickets. So doing that sort of thing, it would make it more difficult to plan things, and I think the community's gotten very settled into building around the 3 different meals types. I personally would be upset if they added a 4th one. I think it could be cool. There's a lot of cool potential. But I don't think they would do it without giving some sort of limited being able to actually choose your meal type, or be able to say, I don't want this in the pool for potential random. Because randomness between 3 meal types is enough randomness as it is. I sure do love exponential functions. They are pretty great. Okay. I'm trying to prep a thing here for potential soybeans, leeks, ginger, coffee. I could sack a little bit in terms of... Maybe I just say I'm going to produce the... I'm trying to figure out what the best one to go with here is here. Because I can only have up to 800 bag space. 800 bag space for sure. Which with 800 bag space across 7 days, I can fit 114 ingredients per day for stockpiling. So let's pretend I want to cover just one ingredient of the 4 in any of the meal types. Coffee is definitely the best one for both of these. And ginger would be a good one to overlap both of these. If I want to try and cover 2, then I could also do soybeans. Coffee, ginger, soybeans covers 2 ingredients in all 3 of them and leaves mushrooms on the table for 2 of them. That does seem good. But that does require that I cover soybeans, which is 28 already. The coffee requirement is 16. But soybeans is already covered here then, and then it's just the ginger requirement of 20. That's only 64 ingredients that I have to prep per day. That's actually not bad. I could actually fit one more in, potentially. Nope, it's 64 per meal. I'm making the same mistake as I did before earlier in the stream. Because I need to multiply all these numbers by 3. Darn it. Well, I could say that mushrooms are already covered in these by running Gengar, because I'm going to want to run Gengar no matter what. So if that's the case, then in order to cover 2 of them, then I just want soybeans and ginger, really. Soybeans, coffee, ginger. Okay. Okay, well, someone on Reddit did... Someone on Reddit did what? Oh, anyone thought one of pumpkin recipes, pumpkin spice latte? Oh, okay. Pumpkin seed salad would be cool. For a 500k? Are you shocked by 500k dream shards? Yeah, the pod expansions are expensive. 560k for the next one. Be ready. Be building up your dream shards now. $560k. Yes. Have you not been aware of the pod expansion? That's just for one. It's 720k for 2, 950k for the third one, and then 1.2 million for the fourth. We're likely going to be getting all 4 of these with the next pot expansion, which pushes us within the realm of being able to make flower gift macarons without a thing, and then for some reason I only have desserts enabled. Let's get rid of that. Corn keema curry and flower gift macarons at 3. I'm going to guess we'll get a meal. One of the new meals is going to be in this range, just to incentivize buying this next pod expansion. But I'm also going to predict that at least 1 or 2 of the meals are going to be between 104, which is the current maximum with Good Camp Ticket, and whatever the new range is, like, to get the maximum amount with Good Camp Ticket. It's like 3.4 million dream shards for all 4. Yeah. I was talking about 260k for 63. Alright, I'm back. I missed everything. Having fun. You haven't missed a whole lot, honestly. I'm still here in my team building. If that gives you any idea. We've talked about a lot of stuff, though. I would say this winter might be perfect for your holiday events. Last year was insane. Dream Shard games. Yeah, the holiday is going to be great. I'm excited for that coming back again, because now I actually have Dream Shard Magnet Pokemon. My goodness, running Swalot during that time, what were the boosts with the holiday event? Kind of forgot, honestly. I know they doubled Dream Shard productivity from the skill, which is just absurd. I'm gonna go back this far. Hopefully this is Suicune. That would have been way before. Well, not way before, just shortly before, actually. Oh, wait, I don't need to go back further. I need to go this way. We'll click through a few of these. Oh, sorry about the sniffles. I'm still recovering from, you know, sickness. There's Drifloon, which was Old Gold Power Plant. Double Candy, that was Halloween. Eevee Week. Growth Week and Sneasel. It's probably soon. Holiday Bundles. Okay, here we go. It was... Main skill Dream Shard Magnet is twice as effective. Main skill levels of Ice type. Okay, that's just Ice type. I think this is the only thing that it actually did to the actual thing itself. Although if we had an Ice type Dream Shard Magnet Pokemon, that would be amazing, but we don't. So... It looks like it's just going to be doubled. But still, doubled is quite a bit. But then we also get double Dream Shard productivity through Sleep Research. 3 times on Christmas itself, and 3 times on the last day of the event. I caught a decent Drifloon with Berry Finding S. Is it worth running in the Halloween event, or should I just run a high-level off-type Berry Finder? Well, Drifloon, or Drifblim, is really high up there in terms of Berry Finding S value index. Not as high as Gengar, which is kind of shocking because Gengar is an ingredient specialist, so it is... If you know how I calculated this index, this does nerf ingredient specialist a little bit. If I didn't have that ingredient specialist nerf, Gengar and Dragonite both would actually be above, up in this category, up in here, in this bar. But because of the slight nerf that I applied to ingredient specialist, assuming that you'd be looking for at least ingredient finding M, it does bring them down a little bit. Meanwhile, Drifblim is actually kind of in the range of where Gengar is. So, like, it's pretty solid with Berry Finding S. But if Berry Finding S is the only thing that's going for it, then it's probably not worth your main skill seeds. But it's going to have its main skill boosted by 3 levels. So, I mean, it's just by default of being a Drifblim, it's going to have main skill level 5. At a 1.25 times trigger rate. I mean, is that really worth it? Also, I just realized there was a question earlier about... I just realized I might have made a faulty comparison earlier. Somebody asked earlier about after the buff, is Drifblim better than Ampharos? And I came to the conclusion that it was yes, but I wonder if I had... Did I have the event bonuses on? Because that changes things quite a bit. Let's see. If I make this an Ampharos instead... And I disable the event bonuses. Which one's better? Okay, disabled event bonuses. Ampharos is slightly better, strength-wise, even with the adjustments to stockpile. So sorry to that person that I said that earlier to. I forgot that I had the event bonuses active. Okay, we should totally rehash the whole strength to earn shards versus Dream Shard farming debate, but with holiday modifiers. Are you taking callers? Oh, we could call. Oh, hey there, Asa. You know what? Sure, but they're not gonna be able to hear you yet. I'll have to reconfigure my OBS briefly because I don't actually have it coming through my. I have the music coming through. Okay. They're not going to be able to hear, so give me a moment. Let's see. We'll do this. Oh, whoops, did not want to do that. We'll delete that. Whoopsie daisy. You got to see all my tabs I had open for a minute there. We'll just do audio. We'll do the way that I've done it in the past. You guys will have to let me know if it's blastingly loud. Because it might be. In fact, it might already be loud. Let's see. I think that cranks the music up quite a bit. Okay. At 500 now, I was hoping to be able to hang on. Yeah, volume just cranked up. Yeah, I can see why that is. Don't worry about it. I'm going to turn the music off momentarily. Actually, no, we'll leave that on. Okay. Oh, whoops. Darn it. Don't worry about this. Okay, that's better. Yeah. There's no way to get stockpile. Yeah, the airplane mode trick doesn't work anymore. Oh. Did they fix it? If they did, then thank goodness. I honestly kind of hated that. I thought it was cool, or it was interesting. I know some people loved it and swore by it. But at the same time, I thought it was very cheeky, I guess. I like... It wasn't wrong. But anyway, hello, caller.
Hey, there we are.
Hey there. I don't know how loud you're going to be for the viewers.
All right.
Crank you up. Okay, here's crank as high as I can put you. I may have to crank down the sleep music and then crank you up
Well,
in here.
maybe if everyone was listening instead of viewing, it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Pumpkin bumping the value of ingredient magnet slightly. That is also something people are making note of. So, welcome. For those of you that can't... You're getting a Discord call. I was actually not getting a Discord call. I was sending a Discord call.
Oh, mine said missed call, and then I tapped it to join the call.
That's weird. That's weird. All right. Well, you want to introduce yourself, caller, in case anyone doesn't know?
Hello, everyone. My name is Lambo Sleeps. I'm a Pokemon Sleep YouTuber. Oh, wait. Wrong persona. I'm the other guy. I'm Ivan Brown, better known as Ivan Brown Plays Pokemon Sleep. I play Pokemon Sleep. Yeah, I have opinions on things, and Velociraptor is almost always right, so that's why we like each other.
What were your thoughts on? You didn't get an opportunity to post a video about pumpkins yet. What were your opinions on pumpkins when they first dropped?
Yeah, I shared in my Discord that based on the meals that released, that I would totally expect that we're going to see another ingredient getting dropped with Amber Canyon. So that was a great take, because you basically said the same thing. But I'll get a little more specific. I'm expecting that the Amber Canyon meals, so we have 2 salads and then one of the others, but one of each meal type is going to be somewhere up in like the 112 ingredient range, or probably just under 112. And then the salad is probably going to be like a mid-tier meal. But when they released the pumpkin meals and they weren't those numbers, I was like, this is just an extra ingredient that they're throwing at us. And I'm predicting that we're going to see like a new pumpkin meal probably every Halloween from here on out, or maybe 2.
I could see that. I could see consistently eating a pumpkin meal every Halloween. Maybe something else that makes pumpkins, even if it's not a dedicated ingredient specialist, just having it in the list somewhere.
Yeah. I see the pumpkin thing. I know you've been using the word gimmick because that's what we've always called the tails. I'm thinking that it's more of a hey, new players, we recognize that you want to have content that you can access to, and so here's some stronger meals and stronger ingredients to help you
Hmm.
do a little bit better. Um, and so I think it's more along those lines than anything. I told my I say I told I dropped kind of my takes in my Discord, but my thoughts are it's basically I guess I'm just prefacing that to say sorry for anyone who's on here that's already heard this, um, but um, but yeah, I don't think or I said I'll hunt a pumpkin farmer while they're boosted, but
Hmm.
I'm pretty confident that I'm not going to be worried about hunting a pumpkin farmer anytime soon. Like if I don't get one right away, I'm not going to be like focused on that for a while. So
Yeah, yeah, I can. I pretty much agree in full. Yeah, I have the same sort of approach with the pumpkin farming. I'll hunt it while they're boosted, but I have no hurry. I don't feel any sort of rush, or any like huge desire. Like I think the pumpkin meta is going to be a short-lived one, and only time will tell how that is. Maybe I could see one Amber Canyon meal to give us that as well. Maybe, but I'm not
yeah,
expecting it to be in
there
the top
definitely
boost.
could be pumpkins and something that we've yet to see. Like
Hmm.
I yeah, don't discount it totally, I guess, but until we have that information, I
I'm
just
just
go,
I'm mostly
this
caught up
isn't it.
that it's on one mon. Like the fact they released a new ingredient and put it on a single Pokemon, like that
Yeah.
just feels like it's a low key thing that they're not wanting to make meta because that puts so much responsibility on catching a good one of that specific mon and doesn't give multiple options.
Well, and I'm looking at the new mons thinking that Flagon is probably going to be pumpkin B ingredient.
Maybe
And
I.
then
Mhm.
C ingredient the avocado. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Especially since that it's available at Taupe as
Mhm.
well. Just makes me think they're gonna go. Okay, well here's another option for pumpkins too. But
Yeah, and that would
we'll
explain a
see,
little bit
right?
more
I mean, who
about
knows?
why it's just one mon. Because they're intending to very shortly after potentially give us a new one. Maybe
I also
Salamence.
think.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, I think that the Witch Hat Eevee.
Hmm.
Obviously, we don't know what specialty it would be. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it had pumpkins as an ingredient, whether it's an ingredient specialist or
Yeah.
not. Um, and then I could imagine them doing something like, um, what's the what's the skill that like Murkrow and Mawile have? Ingredient draw.
Ingredient draw.
Um,
Yeah.
I could see it being that, but with pumpkins as one of the things to give it a very
Yeah. Yeah.
specific use case.
I could see
But
that. And then that would make it
again,
play off the base Eevee. Because, okay, Halloween Hat Pika compared to base Pika, they're both berry specialists. So if they
right?
made it a skill specialist but just changed its skill, that wouldn't be too far out of the picture. Um, but it also wouldn't
Yeah,
be too far out of the picture because, once again, this is like what I was saying earlier about Salamence being like, oh, it's a pseudo. Every pseudo currently in the game is an ingredient magnet, or is not ingredient magnet, is an ingredient specialist with self recharge that is just the kingpin of producing its ingredient. The thing is,
right.
every pseudo in the game is two examples. So, like, is that really enough to be going off of? I'd say the same is true for, like,
Well,
event
Aggron is
Pokemon. Yeah.
he's not a pseudo, but he basically fills that role in the
Hmm.
game, but
Yeah.
without the experience curve.
Yeah, and he's not
Um,
quite as insane as the actual pseudos. Like, the discrepancy between Aggron and Charizard for sausage is by, like, a couple sausage a day. You look at the
yeah,
discrepancy between Dragonite and Gengar, and you're talking, like, almost 30 herbs per day. And
yeah.
between Tyranitar and Kangaskhan, it's like, it's not as bad as Gengar to Dragonite, but it's like 20 Ginger. Like, There's huge
Well,
discrepancies.
and they scale the leveling curves too for those guys to compensate for that, right?
Yes, they're more of an investment. I'm just gonna catch up on chat here a little bit. One of
Sure.
the main gripes with the mainline games is there's no thrill to trying to catch good mons. Anyone who plays Sleep knows the thrill of the hunt. Mainline lacks it. I can agree with that. The joy of just a good catch in Sleep. In the mainline games, you really don't like. You can have something with garbage IVs, but if you just over level it a little bit. I think that changes for Nuzlockers because Nuzlockers restrict themselves to certain rules and they actually feel those IVs. But if you're just doing a casual playthrough, absolutely.
I actually feel like playing Pokemon Sleep is more like opening a like physical pack of Pokemon cards than playing the digital card game. Because it's like you open it up, what's the ingredient spread? Oh, what's the stat? Like it's kind of this like revelation as you're going through, and you can see the colors of the subscales and stuff, But I feel like that's the sensation I have at this point when I'm looking at Pokemon in the morning. Is like, oh, I'm getting hyped up. Is this going to be good? Like, anyway.
Also, someone saying the new Lumiose meal from Pokemon Legends ZA should be added to curries. Oh, the volcano with the 4 croissants around it. I disagree. I hate that thing. It disgusts me every time I see it. But I could totally see where that would be a good business play for them to play on the hype of the game a little bit.
Maybe that's what's coming.
Croissant
what do you
curry.
think's in the center of the tower?
I don't even know what all the... I mean, we can look at images of it. Croissant
an avocado.
curry. Avocados. Somebody made it on Reddit. I made croissant curry. Someone said I'm getting the Pokemon gun. Oh gosh, Reddit. What do you do here? But I guess there could be avocados in it. We don't know. All I know is that thing, every time I see it, it is like the one thing I agree with Naveen on, is that I would not eat that. I hate Naveen otherwise, but that's a whole different thing. Need a skill that gives us handy candies or XP for a team member.
Not gonna happen.
I could see it eventually, just to make up for how long because the higher XP levels is going to take a long time, but I think they're just going to give us, like, the way they reworked things to give us expert mode, to give us more candies, basically, was like, I saw that as their fix for the game drastically slowing down, was introducing expert mode to kind of speed that up a little bit for players that are going crazy about it. Because things do, like, exponentially slow down after a certain point, but they're kind of like, that'd be the biggest case I could see for an XP skill. But because expert mode exists, I don't think they're going that route, and they're just going to give us more expert modes for candy productivity. And Dream Sharp.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like that's the route they're going to help us get more candies. So.
If expert mode wasn't a thing, I would say it might actually be something I could see them releasing. But given that they gave us expert mode, I don't think that's ever going to be a thing.
I mean, this coming from the guy who made the take that, Suicune is just a helper whistle, and all these items correspond to the main skills. So in that sense, I mean, I could definitely see it happening, or like a main skill where it forces a Pokemon to find a candy, like a single candy. But I don't ever think it'll be handy candies.
Yeah, that'd be pretty insane. Funny enough, before you actually released that video, I've had that thought before. I just never really publicly stated it because I did notice a lot of lining up with like the items in the game. I just never really stated it because I didn't really think that it was that profound. I was like, do people not notice that it's just a helper whistle? Because yeah, that's really what it is. Like, and same thing with energy for everyone being an energy pillow. Like, yeah, it seems like, I guess it is kind of profound because I think some people were kind of surprised to think about it that way. But I watched the video and I was like, yeah, I've thought this before.
I mean, it's not a perfect comparison, but I feel like the way I think about using those mons is the same way I think about using a whistle.
Yeah.
And I have very few cases to actually use a whistle, so I don't end up using those.
I mean, in a way, it's just giving you more helps, which is the same thing with energy recovery. It's just it's unbounded. Like you talk about it with Pokemon Sleep. There's unbounded and there's bounded strength production.
I mean, something. Oh, God. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
And like, so ingredient specialists, the amount of time that you run them will be the strongest for the amount of time that you run them until you hit the maximum for what meals they're making, because they're bounded by the meals that you're making to a certain amount of strength. Past that, they have a soft cap past like whatever meal you're making up until the hard cap of the pot size. Berry specialists, their real strength isn't necessarily in that they're stronger, because they're not. They're never going to compete, genuinely. But they're unbounded in potential in a sense that Snorlax will always consume more berries. The same thing is true comparing energy for everyone versus the beast skill. Energy for everyone is bounded by the energy system. It's way stronger, but it's bounded. Meanwhile, the beast skill, theoretically, you can always proc it more and get more berries to feed to Snorlax, and there's no hard cap.
Well, and if you have a team who's depleted of energy, but you stick on a Suicune on that team and it triggers, you're getting the same. You're getting probably more strength from the legendary being there. The downside is, unfortunately, we're in a position where you got your team devoid of energy.
Well, also, is it going to trigger if it doesn't have any energy? It's possible, but it requires good RNG.
I was thinking swap it on.
Oh, yeah.
To the low energy team, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But ideally, you're swapping on Cresselia in that situation.
Yeah, well, hopefully actually a Gardevoir, because that would actually give you more energy than Cresselia, even.
That's true.
Good point, I just need to level up OGPP to get more candies per night. Yeah, I mean, depends on what you're doing at OGPP. There is a diminishing returns for more strength. But if you're not getting enough strength to get a good amount of candies every night, then yeah, you do need more area bonus, as we would say. Bonus,
but if you're not hitting 3 million, I mean, that's the breaking point on most islands, right?
Yeah, 3 million's about where the flatline occurs for most. I should do another analysis of it, but honestly, the biggest reasoning why I made those Dream Shard analysis videos was to answer, is Dream Shard Magnet worth it? And the conclusion I made was, well, it's pretty worth it, but there's a big discrepancy. But it definitely is better, but it's a very hefty cost. And then they released skill level 8, and now all the math that I did is just useless because it's obviously worth it now. Like, there's not even really a question. You can do a very simple calculation, and like you can see that it really just isn't even comparable. Maybe with Expert Mode things have changed. Actually, I do wonder, have they fully gotten the Expert Mode sleep research? Because maybe that would actually encourage me to actually go back and redo that video or touch on that concept again, because Expert Mode does change things.
You would be the one to know that they have, but I definitely haven't seen any Rain and X release notes that says, "Oh, we've published."
It still says on their website very clearly, the current data used for calculation in Expert Mode maps are estimate. This warning will stay until the model can reflect the result accurately enough. So, because that was the biggest reason why I wasn't making that video again, was because I was waiting for the Expert Mode stuff to be finalized, but it's taking them forever to finalize it. I understand why. That's not a gripe against them. It's a very small team of people, and really the Expert Mode data is difficult to... The fact that they're working on it all is impressive. It's not me complaining. Just saying it's taking a long time.
They probably have plenty of stuff of like the lower level spawns, but they probably don't have a ton of data on the upper ends of rarer spawns there.
Yeah. So nothing reliably can really be said about it, but you still make kind of estimates using these estimates, and from what I've seen,
and
basically
I'll be
skill level
talking.
Just trounces.
I'll give a sneak preview of the script that I'm scripting for my next video is actually focus on Dream Shard stuff. And part of the reason I'm doing the strategy I am right now, which is go to whatever island during the week, get up to about 2 million, 2.5 million strength, and then just switch out for 3 Dream Shard Magnet farmers, is to try to like balance that out, because I know that I'm getting more Dream Shards from that than I would be like the risk of how many Dream Shards I might be able to get in expert mode if I get lucky. It's kind of the Lucario versus Swalot argument. The berry Pokemon versus Golduck. It's the guaranteed strength or guaranteed Dream Shards versus the completely variable on do I get a good roll. But
Someone in chat just asked if I've run the calculations with Honchkrow included. Honchkrow is, for Dream Shard Magnet, it's more of a gimmick. You should really be using it more for the purpose of ingredient magnet or ingredient draw, if that's the purpose. It can produce a lot of Dream Shards, and it has a chance. It has a chance to be good for Dream Shards, but the chance is slim enough that if you look at comparisons for an overall, 9 times, pretty much most of the time, it's going to be weaker for Dream Shard productivity than even like an alright. I don't know how it actually compares to Persian, but we'll see. I'll run a calculation here real quick. But the first and foremost thing about it is ingredients. Although Persian does suck, so that's like, it's like one of the 3 that I say is like not even Sleepers considers it.
Only 2 times have I unfriended somebody over candy that they sent me, and one of them was today.
For Persian?
I got somebody sent me a Meowth, so I had like 8 people send me Darkrai, 1 Trico, 1 Gourgeist, 39 Pumpkaboo, and then 1 Meowth. And I was like, well, I'm gonna have to give up this person because they're not paying attention to my candy person.
Yeah, that's literally like one of the worst Pokemon
I got
in the game.
busted today.
Actually, I genuinely think Persian is, like, we joke on Marowak a lot, Markowak. But I think Persian is probably the worst, like genuinely worst, fully evolved Pokemon in the entire game. There's no purpose for it at all.
Yeah, doesn't generate strength, barely generates Dream Shards.
Barely generates milk. Like, what was their purpose for it? It's terrible in every way. But
hey,
just for
there have to be some Pokemon for the Cramomatic, okay?
That's true. That's true. But I don't even want to Cramomatic it because it gives you normal type candies most often. Like, I mean, I guess it is more random. It is random, so it's going to give you other things as well. But it's going to skew it towards normal candies, which I don't want normal candies. What am I going to use that for? Eevee? Like Ditto?
Well, my problem now is I have 2...
Actually, oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, you can go.
So I have 2 maxed Swalots and a maxed main skill level Lucario. And so realistically, I only have 1 more slot on my team for if I was going to do 4 Dream Shard farmers with a healer. And I already have a Sableye that's going to outproduce a very good Persian that I got. So that's like, unless they buff it, like literally have no reason to use this, even though I have a good one.
Yeah, they really did Persian dirty. It is probably the actual worst Pokemon in the game. Like, I can see no argument for investing 1 unless it's, even if it's got absolutely cracked out sub-skills, like just a very mediocre Swalot's going to beat it out in productivity.
Yeah, I have a triple trigger one, and yeah, I've run the numbers, and even I've been very fortunate to get multiple very good Swalots, but I also have some subpar ones in my box. Why do I still have them at this point? I don't know, but they all outperform the Persian, so that is
but
it's not like perfect, but it's very good. So yeah.
Yeah, but for the person that was asking about Dream Shards with Honchkrow, Honchkrow's productivity, I mean, this is ran on X's calculation for it, and just comparing it to Persian, and I know you can't see this unless, or you might be able to soon, but it's comparing it to Persian, which is like, we were talking about how bad it is comparatively to other things. Persian can have a level 7 main skill, which it can go to level 8. And this still produces more Dream Shards than a Honchkrow will on average. There are days that Honchkrow is going to go insane and give you 40,000 Dream Shards, maybe 50,000. Like, there are days that RNG is going to decide to give you it. It's just so RNG. But there's going to be many days where it doesn't give you any Dream Shards at all. That's the problem with it. And on average, you're going to yield lesser than if you just use an actual Dream Shard Magnet Pokemon. But Honchkrow, I'm not saying Honchkrow's not valuable, because that is kind of a nice little add-on to it, but the bigger thing you should be using Honchkrow for is for the ingredients, which ingredient draw still is a very weird skill, very difficult skill to use.
I hate it.
It's...
If they had, like, leaks in it, or tails in it, or like one of those other harder to get ones, I could see the draw. But anyway,
I can see it being useful. I think they should have swapped the secondary effects of Super Luck and of Hyper Cutter. Because putting the more like skill, like the one that's more ingredient focused on, well, I guess that does make kind of sense.
No, it's the Jewelers. It's the, hey, look, shiny stuff, Dream Shards, we're getting it.
Run Honchkrow with Dittos and Mr. Mimes. I mean, you'd only want to run one, though, because if the Dittos or Mr. Mimes copy each other, then it just gets wasted. So you'd want to run 4 Honchkrows and then a Ditto or a Mime. You don't want to run multiple.
No. I'm going to mute myself for 1 second while I attend to something, but I'll be back momentarily.
That's alright, that's alright. Also, yeah, no normal candies. I do see that person in chat, 91M10. I did forget about Chansey, and I was remembering it, was going to mention it. I actually could use normal candies on my account, because my Chansey's always lacking in candy and XP. That is one Pokemon that I struggle with, because not many people send Blissey candies. Not many people send candies for Chansey, probably because it spawns at Snowdrop. That's about all it spawns at. There
was a time when I would have wanted them for Kangaskhan, but now that he's 60, I'm not as worried.
I genuinely forgot that Kangaskhan's a normal type. For some reason, I always had it in my head for ages that Kangaskhan was a ground type. Don't know where I got that. Maybe just because it's brown. I think that's why I thought that.
Kangaskhan.
But it's not even a ground type in the base games. Like, I don't know where I got that in my head, but I thought that for the longest time. But no, it's just a normal type, and always has been. So, but yeah, I could use it.
Very hard to raise. Could never get those candies for my fans.
Yeah, that is the big that's something that I didn't even really touch on much in my whole 16-pip problem video way back. I talked a lot about how difficult it is to catch a good one, and the biscuit cost of a good one. I didn't even touch on the investment cost, because people are going to be sending the candy less, you're going to be getting the candy less. It makes 16-pip investments so much more difficult. And they almost become mini legendaries in their own way.
And Kangaskhan even more so, because I mean I got very lucky and caught a good one like as my very first catch, because I was just catching them for the decks, right? And I didn't even consider, like, I caught it before I really understood how to use the ingredient meta. I had wasn't planning on ever using it. It was just in my box, and then one day I'm like, oh, this is good. If I put silver seeds into it, it can work. But the problem with Kangaskhan specifically, and I'm sure some other Pokemon fall into this category, is by the time you're getting high strength on Cyan Beach to maybe reliably get some Kangaskhan spawns, you're moving on to Toba Hollow. Like, and so like you don't get it from friends because, and now I mean now you don't get it because no one's on Cyan Beach anymore to go get the Kangaskhan spawns. But
Mhm.
anyway, it's just
I don't even
never
know.
had a chance.
Is Kangaskhan only at Greengrass and Cyan?
Yes.
Yeah, that does kind of suck. Like, Limited Islands Pokemon does kind of... It's got to be somewhere else, because I don't remember including it in my list of, like, pseudo-exclusive Pokemon, which is what I consider when they have, like, when they're only at Greengrass in one other island. I feel like it's somewhere else. It's probably at Snowdrop,
More news.
Maybe? More news?
It's just not Halloween bundles. It's not.
Oh, yeah. I saw someone post in chat talking about Halloween bundles.
The reason I had to go mute was to start my sleep tracker, and I missed my bedtime window. So.
Do you guys want my live reaction to the Halloween bundles? Oh boy, I hardly ever look at the bundles because
I'll get my live reaction too.
Them. And I'm definitely not gonna be considering these ones because if I'm buying diamonds, I am buying them for the bag space, not for the bundles. Unless I have plenty of diamonds left over, then maybe I'll consider this, but Ghost type Candy S, Handy Candy, and Poke Biscuits. Actually, that's not bad for 250 diamonds. Like getting Handy Candy and Ghost. If you have a Ghost type that you're looking to invest in, that could be good. But don't buy it just because it's cheap. If you don't have a Ghost type to invest in, then I don't think that's that great. Pumpkaboo Candy, Pumpkaboo Incense. So it's just going on in pumpkins. Then Ghost type Candy, Handy Candy, and Pumpkaboo Incense, and then some Great Biscuits and Ultra Biscuits. For 3,000 diamonds! Holy crap. I guess if you really value Pumpkaboo, then yeah, but I can tell you I'm not buying that last one for sure.
I've still never even used an Ultra Biscuit.
I think I used one on a Hungry Absol one time or something like that.
That's exactly the situation I'm waiting for is a 16-bit mon that I am interested in catching that's hungry, and then to catch it with 2 biscuits, but it just doesn't come up that often.
I think I also used one instead of a Cresselia biscuit during the Cresselia versus Darkrai event because I didn't have enough down for another biscuit, and it didn't get all full. So I was like, I'm going to keep feeding it Ultras. I think I used 1 or 2 for that purpose. And I was just surprised that it kept taking more biscuits. I think that happened. I don't know for sure. But, like, those are the only 2 scenarios where they're even, like, worth considering using. Ultra biscuits are weird.
Yep. So, yeah, if you want Pumpkaboo and you have disposable income and you like Pokemon Sleep enough to spend money on it, do whatever you want. But if you're wondering, should I buy this? Probably not. You definitely can get by without this.
maybe the S bundles, if you have excess diamonds that you don't know what to do with, but I'd probably still save them for a bundle that has either a seed or a good camp ticket. Those are really the only bundles I consider these days.
Well, and if nothing else, save it for Amber Canyon bundles.
Yeah.
Because, as we've said, Pumpkaboo is... I actually was thinking about this today, and I'm like, I fell into the trap because I had some Pumpkaboo spawns, and I used 2 Great Biscuits on one, and used a premium and a Poke Biscuit on the other. And then I realized, I was thinking, like, they're trying to get me to use all my biscuits right before the new area drops so that I'm tempted to buy biscuits.
Yeah, I didn't use a... Actually, what? I didn't use a great, and I didn't use 2 greats because I was like, well, with the new moon event, it's pretty unlikely that it'll get all full. It's possible, I think. I don't know what the new
when
moon
I watched your video, I realized I was an idiot, but before then, I was doing things.
That's all right.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a great point, and it's definitely going to change how I approach if I get those spawns tomorrow. I'll be buying Poke Biscuits.
Yeah. I'll maybe feed it 1 Great Biscuit just cause, but Eh. I think that's what I did this morning, was 1 Great Biscuit and 2 Poke Biscuits.
Yeah.
So
If I could have gone back in time, that's what I would have told myself to do and said, "Don't forget, it's New Moon. It's the event that you completely ignore."
the New Moon, the one event where it's like, is this even an event? Like, there's 2 events that are like that, the New Moon and the Full Moon. But the Full Moon, at least, it's like, when it is happening, it's like, oh, that's right, it's the Full Moon. I get a boatload of not Dream Shards, like, the good
Oh,
Sleep Day
you might.
points. And that's the only reason why I
Yeah,
remember that it's even
Drowsy
happening.
power, and I always forget that the sleep points are part of it. And I'm always like, "Oh, sweet!" Like on the first day, we get the extra 500. I'm like, "Oh
Yep.
my gosh, I'm about to get loaded with these."
I'm no longer broke. I'm
Oh.
so liberal with all the currencies in this game. Dream Shards, Sleep Points, Diamonds. I don't build up like anything. I
How many
spend
dream
through
shards
all
do you
of it.
have right now?
Well, I was talking about this earlier.
Day of
About
Reckoning.
414,000 and about
Oh, that's what I would have
90,
guessed for you.
like 90,000 in reserves through the clusters. So about 500k total.
Okay. Oh, I just clicked evolve on Pumpkin. Not the button I meant to click.
Okay,
Um,
someone just commented,
I'm
by
at
the way, from my
2.5 million.
experience and from other people from future time zones, Pumpkaboo only spawn on the actual New Moon Day. It won't spawn on the last day of the New Moon Day event. You also don't get pseudo balance like this time around. That doesn't surprise me. It seemed to just be a single off illusion sort of thing. Just reference to its Pokedex entry. Otherwise, I would have expected it throughout the whole New Moon Day event.
The question is the sound still there right now? Let me go check.
I actually heard the sound
Gorg,
and was a bit surprised
Oh,
by it.
it's gone.
Ah,
It's gone, which makes me think we're
yeah.
not seeing it again to Halloween. Yeah.
Yep, I would agree with that. So it was just
But hopefully use New Moon Day to shadow drop Pokemon that are coming the next week is just a preview. I always think it's weird that the news says there have been reports of Pokemon, and it's like, no, there haven't. There have not been reports. No one has seen this Pokemon. What are you talking about?
Well, I think the shadow dropping is just going to be I think it's just going to be for Pokemon that are like have some sort of reasoning for it. Like with Pumpkaboo or Gorgai specifically, is because it had that Pokedex entry that said something along the lines of like, if you hear its cry on the New Moon Day event or during the new moon, then it curses you or something like that. It's a Pokedex entry from X.
Oh, I'm cursed.
Yeah, I know. I heard it too. We're both cursed.
Oh my gosh.
And then with Drifblim, when they released it on a Friday, because back in the original games, it only showed up on Fridays with the in-game clock. So it was like the Friday visitor. So that was the whole thing. They're both references to the base games in some capacity. I think that going forward, they're only going to do shadow drops probably if there's some sort of reference to the base games having to deal with a Pokedex entry or something. So given that, we could maybe actually make predictions for future shadow drops. That could be a very interesting idea, going through Pokedex entries, seeing if there's like a on this day.
Let's crowdsource that. All right, hey everybody, tell us.
Yeah, tell us what other possible shadow drop opportunities. Shadow drop opportunities.
Shadow drop opportunities. Love it.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
definitely the wrong person to ask.
I do not know the whole Pokedex.
Well, I just don't even know all the Pokemon. when I was making my Halloween video and going through like, here's all the Gen 9 ones, I was like, was something called Bramble something. I don't even remember it. But, yeah, I was like, definitely haven't even heard of this.
It's like a tumbleweed, from what I know.
And I even said Sinistcha is popular, but it's because I was getting it confused with Sinistcha and so I didn't even know.
Yeah,
anyway.
Sinistcha is earlier Gen 1.
I'm a fraud.
Yeah, Sinistcha.
I'm a Pokemon sleep expert.
Yeah. It's a convergent.
Nothing else.
Mm-hmm. I know some of the newer stuff. I know I'm learning ZA, all the Pokemon in ZA. I caught on the day that they announced Pumpkaboo and the day that we got that news. I caught like 8 Pumpkaboo just because, and an Alpha Gourgeist.
That's awesome.
It was pretty easy, but should I be running my Dream Search team Saturdays and Sundays? Have a full team of 5, Dream Shard bonus and Research XP bonus at level 10 to 25. Maybe not necessarily running them, but swapping them on for night wouldn't be a bad idea. Unless you're looking for running a Dream Shard magnet
If you can spare the
Pokemon.
energy.
Yeah, if you can spare the energy, then swapping them on for night is a decent idea. But you don't need to run them all day long. Oh, Scyther gets released on Big Catch Contest Day, apparently, which I think was Tuesdays. So, potentially if they ever drop Scyther, then maybe we could see Scyther Shadow drop on a Tuesday. I think there was a Lapras that only shows up on a Wednesday. Maybe it was Sundays.
Oh, Lapras in Gold and Silver, it's only available on Fridays in the cave.
Oh, maybe that's it then. The only one
I do know some things.
Someone said the only one on my mind is Jirachi, but that only wakes up every 1,000 years. Oh man.
But this is Pokemon Sleep, so if it wakes up, it's probably not going to be in the game ever. We only want Pokemon who
in
sleep.
sleep though. Lapras is not in sleep. At least unless you have something that the rest of us don't know. I would love to see Lapras. Lapras would be cool. I'd love to see like.
When are we gonna get the
fish
ocean?
Pokemon. Yeah,
Yeah.
the ocean, the fish Pokemon.
Always comes back. All this stuff always comes back to the ocean. All the water that goes down my drain goes back to the ocean. Pokemon Sleep just goes back to the ocean.
That ever fan theorized island of Snorlax on floaties in the water with like sleeping Magikarp swimming.
It'd be awesome.
No, of course not. Level 65 would be just a big Dream Shard boost. Yeah, I can see Scyther in the game. Lapras is classic. Yep.
When they release Magikarp, they should do a crossover event with Magikarp Jump where you have to connect your accounts and progress the Magikarp Jump to some point in order to get Magikarp to spawn in sleep.
Oh gosh, that'd be funny. Magikarp. I'm just imagining Gyarados in the sleep art style, and I think it could look cool, especially a shiny Gyarados. That'd be very cool.
Oh man, it would look sick.
Classic. You played Gens 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you played Gen 2 and got the red one from the Lake of Rage.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
My very first ever shiny.
I think that's most people's first ever shiny.
I was super jealous of my sister because she got Crystal, and they give you an egg when you get to Goldenrod and the daycare people.
Mm-hmm.
And she hatched a shiny, I want to say it was a Magby. And I was like, the game just straight up gave you a shiny and you're like not even to the third gym leader. Like,
that is pretty insane luck. Especially because back then, that would have been the original, like, 1 in, like, what is it, 40? No, not 4096. It's like 8,000 or something. Isn't it like that? Like, in the Gen 2 games?
I wasn't shiny hunting ever. I didn't even really realize what shiny meant. Because back then, we just called it Red Gyarados.
Yeah. Aside from the Red Gyarados, because that one's a guaranteed encounter, the odds are 1 in 8,192 in the Gen 2 games. So the fact that she hatched that, and that her one egg hatching would be 1 in 8, that's very rare. 1 in 8,192. So that's insane.
Well, I was playing Silver on an emulator in the last 5 years, and I ran into a shiny Geodude. Then I was annoyed because I was like, I'm never gonna be able to evolve this to a goal.
Oh yeah, because it's on an emulator. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, if you play the games enough, even if you play them back then, like the Gen 2 games, the original ones, even with that rare of odds, if you play it enough, you're bound to stumble upon it eventually. It's just,
Yeah.
when is it going to happen? What Pokemon is it going to be? Will there be multiple? Because you might get lucky enough to have multiple spawn in, but like, it's like bound to happen eventually if you play enough of it. It's just,
Right.
and it feels like lucky when it happens, but it's really not when you consider how many encounters you go through that weren't shiny.
Right.
And the same
Well,
thing
and
is true.
especially if you're hoping for a certain Pokemon to be shiny, like the odds
Yes.
of getting the right Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are ways that you can shiny hunt specific Pokemon, but there aren't really in Sleep. People that are like, I'm
Yeah, there
hunting
are.
this shiny.
You just keep grinding.
Yeah, just keep grinding the same island where they have the best odds. Snorlax with a snorkel. Oh gosh, going back to the floaties. Better chance of getting Magikarp. Still waiting for Wailmer and Wailord. Ah, yes, Wailord, the second biggest Pokemon in all the games. Definitely going to be added soon. I don't know how they would manage that. Talk about the size issue.
I feel like they'll have to implement something. I mean, we've already talked about the leaning into the screen thing.
I think
Or
that
Wailord, I
image
could see like coming up from the bottom.
Yeah, Wailord,
But
like,
I could also imagine that like you have, your helper Pokemon on the field, and then you have like a little secondary interface that you click and you like zoom out from the campsite for a second just to collect it from Wailord.
he's just so big. No, you gotta have Eternamax Eternatus. Because how big is Eternatus again? He's huge. He's canonically the largest Pokemon. He is 65 foot 7 inches long. And the Eternamax version is 328 foot 1 inch long. I like how they specify 328 and 1 inch. It's because it's 100 meters. That's why, which converts over to that. So, but it's an even 100 meters. So that explains why it's 328 and 1 inch.
I'm seeing this comment. Yeah, Warlord Topbelly leaves an imprint, and Kari Miart should have said that after. Should have said Wailord Topbelly Sleep leaves a death. Leaves a murder scene.
I have one of my favorite memes on my phone. Here, I'm going to post it in the Pokemon Sleep Discord if I have it here. Let's just scroll back through my phone to find it. It's one of my favorite images that I have saved on my phone. I just sent it to my Discord, Pokemon Sleep channel, and I'll pull it up here on the stream now that I've sent it somewhere where I can access it on my computer. Anyone who's not watching the stream is going to be like, this is funny, but why is it randomly getting posted right now? Okay, this image. This was posted before Gardevoir was in the game, by the way. So this was somebody joking about Gardevoir as a Topbelly Sleep being added. Now Gardevoir is actually in the game, so this is kind of outdated. But we have a Topbelly Sleep for Snorlax. And then we have a Topbelly Wailord Sleep. But my favorite, my personal favorite, a Topbelly Cosmoem. You know, it's because Cosmoem is canonically basically 1,000 kilograms. So having that on top of your belly, and it's like the size of like a little bean, that would be painful to have on your chest. I just have this in my phone at all times because I think it's hilarious. But man, it's an old image from the Reddit, very long time ago.
I think it's one of the top posts of all time.
Probably.
For a while, I think it was the top one on the subreddit.
I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. That's an old post of mine. Ignore that. What's top of all time right now? Oh, I should probably not be on my whatever. Should probably not be on a moderator account. Give me a moment.
Guys, just don't click the buttons on his screen while he's showing it, okay?
I mean, Not a problem. I'll just dip out of mod mode. I just found a little button for that. Okay.
If it makes you feel any better, you're just showing the. Well, wait, am I behind? I'm probably behind because of an ad or something. Just kidding.
Of all time, let's see what's here. It's a shiny Charizard. It's just a wow. That feels kind of lame. That our top post of all time is just a top belly shiny Charizard. Like, don't get me wrong, that's cool, but it's just a brag post. It's nothing creative. Like, I mean, more power to this guy, but it's the second highest post of all time. That's where it is.
All right. Well, everyone go upvote it.
Here, I'll do my part right. Oh, I can't right now. Apparently, probably because
It's probably too old to upvote. I mean, just.
Oh, probably. But then 2.8 thousand votes on the shiny Charizard. That feels very random. Oh well. Whatever.
So, how's your Halloween team looking?
My Halloween team, not too much improved from before. I was hoping to have something figured out for it by the end of this, but we've gotten very distracted multiple times.
Yeah.
That's alright, though.
I'm pretty confident. I'll just be
like,
winging it.
I'll probably just be winging it as well. I want to do some prep, but I honestly don't even, like, given that my best ingredient's going to be mushrooms, and it's expert mode, and I could get any of 3, like, if I could at least guarantee that I could get 1 of 2 meals, I think there's more that I could do. But with expert mode, you can't really re-roll, because then you're wasting potential future expert bonus weeks.
You don't have a skillet urge invested yet, right?
I do, for apples. So
there's that too, but
yeah.
It's kind of like...
Well, that's going to be super excess.
You're going to get so many apples, you only need them on the team for half a second.
Yeah,
But to stockpile the other ingredients around either apples or mushrooms, there's nothing that you could like really try to prep for.
Tea. Apples and mushrooms.
I haven't ever said this in a video, and I know you're going to tell me that the math is wrong, but it's close enough that good camp ticket for all of your Pokemon who are non-matching berries are basically like they still have helping bonus applied to them, because it's minus 15 on it, and then plus the 20% speed.
I mean,
and I know that the math is a little different because of the helping bonuses stack for real or whatever, but you'll be able to still get ingredients from your ingredient producers if you're running a good camp ticket, which I think you said you are.
Yeah, I'm intending to.
So.
Well, also there's the inventory impact as well that makes it a little bit better as well if you're running good camp ticket versus having helping bonus. So.
Yeah.
Because helping bonus just makes them faster. Good camp ticket makes them faster and gives them an inventory increase, which matters pretty greatly for ingredient specialists if you run them overnight. Which is why
we'll have to see how
Jumbo Gourgeist isn't that far off from Small Gourgeist.
Right.
Yeah, but
I have a Mimikyu that you made a video about once that I still haven't invested, and it's on my list to invest at Christmas maybe.
I feel like we all have those investments.
But until it gets the levels, it's not worth running even for this event compared to just other things.
I believe that. We all have those investments where it's like, this is one day I will invest it. One day I will invest it. But then you catch something that you want to invest first, and you just never invest it. I have my Shiny Arcanine is probably my most notorious one. Like, I've had this for ages and want to invest
now that I got that Braviary too, it's almost like when I'm ready to invest these, which one do I pick? Well, I'll just let them sit there until one of them gets rolled in expert mode, and then I go, okay, I guess this one's getting the skill seats first.
Okay, Flying Berries, Braviary. Yeah. I guess
But
I could build around. Well, okay. Actually, there's a very clear answer here. If it's either of these ones, if it's Zingzap, if it's desserts or salads, mushrooms or apples, then I need leeks and ginger for sure. I don't know with stinking curries. Curries mess things up, but I could at least prep leeks and ginger, and then I'd have something for 2 of the meals. And then do I
yeah, but
just...
if you're running, just save the soybeans that your Quackleval also produces.
Yeah, save some soybeans, and then that could cover me for either of the other ones. So
Now,
yeah.
I jumped off of this live. I got on, and then my wife got home from something, so I was talking to her, and I jumped off of this. But you were predicting about the event bonuses.
Mhm.
Are you thinking it's going to be not skills because of the skills, and it's going to be either ingredients or berries?
No, so what I was
Or
saying,
you?
if you look at the Halloween event, it's boosting their skill trigger rate, and it's making
Right.
them produce 1 extra ingredient at the same time.
Oh
So,
yeah,
given that it's doing both of those things, the only option is the berry boost.
got it.
But that's just assuming that because of these things, because I don't know how they would add an extra 1.25, and it seems like they've coded it so that when an event is boosting a particular thing, it literally can't be that thing. Well, if that's the case here, then it's literally going to be the berry one. Like, it can't be the other ones because these ones are boosted by the event. So,
Well, and it's just a matter of, do they do that based on, like, it's boosted for ghost, and since that's a third of your favorited berry options, that's still good enough? Or is it like I mean, we'll find out. This will be a great science experiment to find
yeah.
out on this one.
My
Is when if it's a
theory-
single type, do they still do it that way, or versus when it's boosted for everyone already?
My theory is that because there's anything that's boosted like that, they're going to make it that it can't be that. Just because I think they're worried about it being too OP if it is double stacking boosts like that. And because
Yeah.
they have never done a berry boost in the past, they always have that berry boost to fall back on. Because they've never, like, literally expert boost to berry strength is the only situation where they boost the berry strength. Even when we had a berry boost week, they just increased the number of berries they were finding. They didn't actually increase the berry strength. So it seems like they're just leaving that as a thing to fall back on if they're boosting both other things. But I guess we'll see.
That's fair.
All it takes is a single person to disprove this theory next week. Just one person needs to show,
Just
hey, I
like-
got the ingredient boost, or hey, I got the skill boost.
It's like every video I make, they immediately go and change one thing that ruins my guide.
Yeah.
Like I recently said in a video, the thing about like, oh yeah, some main skills they show and you can click through them all, and some they don't. And then Devin was like, you know what? We should just go ahead and add them to all the main skills. He's right. But
I
then
didn't
shout me out.
I didn't even notice that change, if I'm completely honest.
It's okay. They didn't say it in their release notes, but I saw somebody posted on Reddit, and I was like, I wonder if they watched my video because I totally called this out.
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy timing on things.
Give us Haxorus, Devin.
Haxorus, please. I love him.
Yeah, however it's pronounced, give it to us.
The Axew line. Axew is the baby. It's Axew, Fracture, and Haxorus. It has, like, one of the coolest shinies ever. He's an axe lizard thing. That's another one that's a guaranteed shiny, apparently, in one of the games. I don't know which game, but you can actually get a guaranteed shiny Haxorus. There aren't too many guaranteed shinies, but I know the red Gyarados is one of them, and guaranteed shiny Haxorus is,
Is it a guaranteed shiny because it's hacks?
maybe. It's in black
That's
too,
okay.
apparently. Maybe, I don't know. I know there's a thing with, like, shiny Axew, I think. I remember hearing that once. I've never played the games, though, but I'm very excited. So, Crustle and Dwebble also. I think that's a interesting pick for Sleep. I can see how they fit the art style, but it's not what I would have expected. But
Are there any Pokemon that don't fit the art style? Is the question.
That's
Because
a
I feel
very
like
good
they'll be able to get everything into it.
question. I don't know. If it's gonna be anything, I feel like some of the legendaries might not fit the art style the best. Like, I don't know. The future Paradox Pokemon, I feel like, really would not fit the art style. Because they're supposed to be, like, chrome and shiny, robotic almost. And I feel like this art style is very good at just being, like... It's very, like, one color for the most part. Like, not one color, but, like, matte. It's very matte. And they're made supposed to be more
how about
shiny.
this? You give me a Pokemon, and I'll tell you if it can fit the art style. This will be really easy for me.
Okay.
Because I'll
Right,
just say yes every time.
Fair enough. Scroopy and Drapion would be a great add to the canyons for poison type. That'd be cool. And they might... Here's the thing. They're releasing 3 Pokemon with the Amber Canyon. But last time they released a new island, they gave us Drifblim as a shadow ad, per se. Like, they did a shadow drop of Drifblim to surprise us. And it was kind of released in the same sort of capacity halfway through the week. Because it was on the Friday of the release of Old Gold Power Plant. They could theoretically do that again and give us... Because both new islands, we've gotten 4 new fully evolved Pokemon. With Old Gold Power Plant, that's Luxray, Drifblim, Aggron, and Vikavolt. With Lapis Lakeside, it's Gardevoir, Gallade, Dragonite, and Beware. Now, Gardevoir and Gallade, they're part of the same line, but they do 2 different things. They are 2 different functional Pokemon. So I think you could reasonably say, with both of those examples, they gave us 4 new fully evolved Mons. Here they're only promising us 3, but with Old Gold Power Plant, there was a Shadow release, so maybe there's a Shadow release intended here as well. Who knows? Only time will tell.
Well, in my Discord, so there's a bigger version of this image that got posted on Twitter. It's a little bit expanded. There's not like revealing anything that much more other than that river at the bottom was a little more visible and the top was a little more visible. But we were talking about how when Old Gold Power Plant was released, there were the balloons. And people were speculating that was a hint at Drifloon and Drifblim.
Maractus?
And
That's my first thought.
Yeah, if you look at those cactuses next to the logo,
the moment that you were going down that line, I could instantly see Maractus in these things. Actually,
yeah, that's exactly what we honed in on.
That almost looks like a face. Maybe I'm going crazy. Any of you that...
You mean... Wait, the rocks? Oh
No,
my
the
gosh,
cactus.
it does look like...
So this is Maractus, if you didn't know. But I wouldn't want to see Maractus, because that would be a single stage, and I'd like something more... I guess maybe Cacturn?
Oh, it would be a 16-pip, Mom. Don't worry.
Yeah. Maractus would be 16-pip. Because I believe it's a single stage. I don't think it has a pre-evo, but I haven't actually played the game, so maybe I'm wrong. Either way, I don't see anything about it having an evolution, so... yeah, because one way it's Darmanitan, the other way it's Dwebble. It's right before Dwebble in the Pokedex, apparently. The other one I could think of would be Cacturn. But those images, those cactus look way more like Maractus than they look like
the
Cacturn.
pink flowers and
Yeah, with the pink flowers on there as well. Like, this thing's a dark dude. He's creepy. It does not look like Cagnia. Pumpkaboo is a shadow release because the ghost type shadow hint. Well, I think that's more just they just wanted to have fun with it, so they released it on the new moon to reference the old Pokedex entry. I'd hope for Cacturn.
I mean, there are some other cactus-looking other cactuses that are more like Cacturne too, but
Mm-hmm. Cactus. Are there any other cactus Pokemon? That's got to be a really niche thing. I swear it's probably just Cacturne and Maractus.
and Mewtwo.
Mewtwo's based on a cactus?
Shiny Mewtwo.
Oh, yeah, it's got the
Basically,
green. That's true.
It's, how loosely do you want to apply the definition?
Yeah, I'm not really seeing... I mean, maybe these flowers... That
Zygarde.
feels like a huge stretch. Zygarde is green. That's true. Zygarde sells.
He kind of looks like a cactus.
Yeah, Zygarde 50% definitely. I could see that with Zygarde 50%. Zygarde 10% and Zygarde complete, no. But 50%, yeah. That's the most cactus-like of the three. If any single stage, I'd love to see Drotagon. Don't know why. Cacturne would be awesome. Carnivine also almost looks like a cactus. Carnivine is more of like a Venus flytrap.
Venus flytrap.
Yeah, which I don't really see any imagery like that here. It's more just cacti. And a rock.
It's like Victorino's cousin.
Yeah. Victreebel's a pitcher plant. Carnivine's a Venus flytrap. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
It was on your screen a second ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I did see it there. I did see Carnivine on the screen, but it's... I didn't really think much of it because it's definitely more...
It's not a cactus.
It's not a cactus. Yeah. I can see some ways to think that is, but... Definitely, if this is an allusion to a new Pokemon they're added, I feel like it's more likely to be Maractus than anything else. Maybe
Agreed.
you could say Cacturne off of some speculation, but the pink flowers really have me in there, so...
And shout out to Nova Gnomes, who is the one who pointed that one out.
I can see your predicting that. Alrighty, well, it's almost 2 a.m. here. I'm pretty tired. I'm starting to lose my train of thought. I think that means it's time for me to wrap up the stream, so... I'm going to say...
Hit that like button, everyone, on your way out.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody. Hope you all sleep well, and you let your Pokemon get good rest as well.